The life insurance aspect, that's the best part. That's the tax benefit, the tax reward. Because life insurance by law, proceeds from a life insurance policy are non-taxable. So if you're investing in a bucket where the legacy benefit that pays out is non-taxable and you have access to the funds, that's what an IUL is.
Hello, everybody. Grady Polson here, Family First Life America. Beyond excited to have four-time Hall of Fame producer Spencer Faggioni on joining us live. Man is an absolute assassin when it comes to mortgage protection, term and whole life, but he shines and his skill set. What's better than assassin? You're a sniper. You're an elite assassin when it comes to simple retirement solution-based products, fixed index annuities, and IULs. And we're beyond excited to have him on today, digging into the making the complex seem simple and the confusing clear, index universal life policies and how you can help benefit your clients with these products. So maybe talk about that component of the way they're maybe are one more notch. Like if term and whole life is English 101, then IULs might be English poetry, right? But it's not French 1860s poetry. It's English poetry. It's just a little bit more advanced, the prettier words. So yeah. I think that's something that shortens agents up, is they think that it's this whole new, I got to learn mortgages now. You're like, no, you don't. Mortgage protection, you don't. No. You just, you know. So I got them understand the simplicity of them.
Okay, perfect. Term life, start date, end date, you die in between, pays out. Whole life, start date, expires when you expire, it dies when you die, it pays out indefinitely. Index universal life, let's break it down. Index simply means that your funds that you put into the plan track an index, and they perform based off that index. When the index does well, your money actually grows and accumulates in a cash value accumulation bucket within the policy, okay? The universal life means that every year the insurance policy renews forever. A universal life policy is structured to last forever, okay? Is it possible for a policy to lapse eventually? Sure. Have I seen it? No. Have I ever structured a client's program where that would be the case? Also, no. So very seldom does a universal life not last indefinitely. When they're funded, they grow. It works very simply, okay? The life insurance aspect, that's the best part. That's the tax benefit, the tax reward. Because life insurance by law, proceeds from a life insurance policy are non-taxable. So if you're investing in a bucket where the legacy benefit that pays out is non-taxable and you have access to the funds, that's what an IUL is. Now, Grady, you made a great point when it came to liquidity, right? So with liquidity, I just saw a great question. I'll answer that in a moment. With a 401k, Grady, you are penalized if you take out money prior to the age of 59 and a half. Penalized, penalized, penalized. You pay a 10% penalty, then you pay income tax on it. With an IUL, there is a surrender period. Almost every IUL that I've ever seen or done is a period of 10 years. In the first year, the penalty to access funds is higher. In the 9th year, the penalty to access funds is minimal, 1%, 2%, 3%, very small. But after a 10-year window, there's no penalty or limitation to the amount of funds that you can access, okay? So think of it like this. If you build up your assets in a 401k, you literally can't touch it till the age of 59 and a half. If your neighbor's moving out of the house, said, hey, I don't want to deal with a car dealership. I just want to get rid of this car. I'll give it to you for 10 grand. The car's worth 30. I've seen that happen before in my own neighborhood. And I was like, yeah, I'll come up with the cash. Let's go. But if you're living your life on a budget, you can't do that, because in a 401k, you go get penalized. It's a terrible situation. But an IUL gives the owner of the IUL liquidity access, so that way they can take advantage of investment opportunities They can take care of things like a child's wedding. They can buy a car for their children's college. They can take care of year of rent for the first year of the dorms. You can leverage an IUL earlier than a 401k. So instead of tying up your money for 30 years, now you're tying up your money for, relatively speaking, a period of 10 years before you have that cash access in there to loan yourself the money and use it for the things that you want to do. Think of it like this. In addition, right? If I have $10,000 in this hand and I want to take $5,000 and buy a new lawnmower, I would then have this much left of the 10,000. I take the $5,000 over here, and now I'd have a new lawnmower. Okay. So my following year's interest would be growing off of my 5%. If I had a 10% growth in this account on $5,000, I would only make $500. Make sense, Grady?
Correct.
Okay. Now let's say I have $10,000 in this hand and I want to buy this lawnmower and it's $5,000. Instead of taking money out, I loan myself the money. Now I go buy that lawnmower. If I still have $10,000 in this account and next year I get 10%, instead of $500 growth, I get $1,000 of growth. So by loaning myself the income, I'm still getting accumulations on the full balance. Now it's good business to pay yourself back your loan, right? I would have been making payments or paid cash for it. So why not pay off that loan? But you have something called non-direct recognition, where if the market index performs, that performance interest, let's say next year, Grady got 10%. The interest is going to grow based off what's in the cash accumulation bucket. You'll get that 10% growth. The loan has a different balance. The loan is going to grow at the 5 or 6% or whatever that loan is, right? The $10,000 is unaffected by the loan, plain and simple. You can loan from 401ks. We won't get into that terrible idea, because if you have an outstanding balance of a loan and then your market value crashes, now you're in a really bad spot in your investment. But in IUL, you have that advantageous lever you can pull. So an IUL is, remember this, there's a nickname for the IUL. It's called a rich man's Roth. Okay. A rich man's Roth, because you can put more in an IUL than you can in a Roth IRA. A Roth IRA, you're limited to $6,500 a year, but an IUL, you can put $100,000 a year into an IUL. You could put $1 million a year into an IUL. You could also put $3,800 into an IUL. And I think a majority of our clients, Grady, we're helping them look at an alternative way to accumulate assets. I never sit there and tell my clients I'm going to make them rich. I simply educate them on an option that they haven't been introduced to. And believe it or not, lately, a lot of my clients go, yeah, I've seen that on TikTok. Yeah, I saw that on Instagram. I'm surprised with how much financial literacy is getting into the market through those social media apps. So if you're advertising on social media or Instagram, or you're leveraging your social presence, I would encourage you to continue to do so, because time and time again, weekly, I'm getting clients saying, yeah, I've heard about that. So that's great. Somebody else drip marketed my client for me, and I went in and closed the deal, baby. That's what's awesome. So a good example of a client that I met recently, facts tell, stories sell. I met a guy working at a dealership making 200 grand a year. He's overfunding his 401k by 14%. So his company matches 4%. That means, for those of you that, I'll dumb it down. I'm not saying anyone's dumb, but I'll make it simple to comprehend. If I make $100,000 a year and I'm going to not pay taxes on that full amount, and I can put $4,000 into my 401k, my employer is going to match the amount I do up to 4% of my income. So I put $4,000 in, they put $4,000 in. That's free money. So always get 100% return on your money, right? But anything else I put in addition to it is just me being aggressive with my income, saying, hey, I'll defer paying taxes on it. I'll put in this and I hope it grows. And when I sat down with a client, he goes, hey, I've been looking at some IULs. That's what we want. That's how the meeting went from the get-go. And I was like, how much are you looking to put into this monthly? He goes, maybe $500, maybe 1,000 a month. I think that'd be comfortable. And then he let slip. I haven't even got to the question yet in my in-home where he goes, yeah, I'm actually paying 14% more into my 401k. I said, that's outstanding. If I could show you a way you can still leverage that, you could take zero out of your income for your home. You change none of your bills. You don't add any $500 or $1,000 a month bill to your house. We just leverage that money and put it into a different bucket. You diversify your portfolio. One goes up when the market goes up. They both go up when the market goes up. One stays where it's at when the market goes down. So you have one that goes down, one that stays, and then one generates non-taxable income for retirement and preparation for retirement. He was all about it. We got our follow-up meeting next Monday, Tuesday, something like that. And we're looking at, the guy makes 200 grand, 14% of 200 grand is $28,000. I mean, he's putting $28,000 extra of income into that. When I said, hey, why don't we just bring that in as income? You pay the 2 grand of taxes on the 28,000, whatever it is. Now you're left with 20 and change. Tell you what, why don't we put $22,000 a year into an IUL? I showed him an illustration in a second, and it was outstanding. It was an outstanding way to move the money. Grady, I'd like to show somebody, or I would like to maybe, would you like me?
A quick commercial while you're pulling up whatever you're pulling up.
Yeah.
We have a few hundred agents on here and a few thousand will watch the replay. They're all independent contractors. So they don't have access to a 401k. They're all going to die someday. They're all going to get old someday. Do you advise self-employed independent life insurance agents to purchase an IUL?
Yes, absolutely. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah. The first client you should all have as and this isn't like, hey, welcome to FFL. I need to sell you a policy.
Buy this. Yeah.
Training, and I'm going to keep the Spencer. I'm going to let you watch me input your information into the computer. I'm going to show you how to do this. You're going to pay $100 a month. I'm going to keep the whole commission, but you got trained. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm saying you go sell yourself a policy to learn how to do this. 100, 200, 500, 1,000, 5,000. I don't know what your big goals are. Right. But the best way to learn it is to do it. Now, the best way to sell it is to show the client you also have it. And you also don't have another retirement plan right now because you're independent contractors. So you can, we can all act like we're trying to save for retirement because one day we'll catch up and one day I'll save enough and one day we'll get that credit card with those college books paid off, one day. Right. Or you can become the best client you have. And the best override you get is off yourself, right? The best client you should have is yourself, and go get yourself an IUL. And guess what? You get the full commission on it, right? You get it. So, and then go sell it to your brother and you get the full commission on that too. And Spencer and I aren't going to take any of it. So that's some advice for just everyone out there is to this is, if not one of the best, I'm going to use your words, ways to protect yourself from taxes and retirement. Because guess what? You're all going to get older. And 5 years ago, I was 34. And 5 years before that, I was 29. And 5 years before that, I was a mess. So you're going to get older. And guess what? If you die and you don't get older, your family who you love gets a life insurance benefit. So, I mean, there we go. So, thank you for all you shared today.
Thanks, dude.
And we'll do more of these as we progress, but show Spencer some love.